Hi, I'm Kathy Kiely, president of the Ad Club. Thank you for joining us on the Big Orange Couch. And today we're going to talk about a client, an Arnold client, who was really living up to their name, Progressive Insurance. Thank you for joining us on the Big Orange Couch.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you, Kathy.
We're here with Trevor Nardini and Mary Rich.
Hey, all.
How long have you been at Arnold?
I've been at Arnold for 10 years and worked on a variety of clients, and now I work on McDonald's and Pearl Vision.
And Trevor, what about you?
I'm actually in my 14th year at Arnold, and I currently, I'm the account director on Progressive.
So we had the pleasure of watching Progressive win at the Rosoff Awards, which was very exciting. Tell us a little bit about the decision behind Progressive going after the GLBT community.
Sure, I can talk a little bit about that. We have a great campaign that's running for Progressive that's sort of speaking to it's sort of a mass market campaign, and I think any smart marketer is always looking where they can sort of augment that kind of initiative with a really successful targeted approach. And so what they did was they did sort of a lengthy analysis of what targets made sense for them to reach out to, and in doing that, they looked at which ones have sort of a significant enough size to sort of target, and also where might there be opportunity because their competitors hadn't necessarily made successful inroads there.
And then when you're talking to the GLB community, though, you have to be kind of aware of what the issues are. You can't just slap a rainbow sticker on the ad and think you're going to make a connection and have it be success. It wasn't Progressive's place to be politically active, so we wanted to kind of just talk about like what progress was being made and kind of work with the name of the company, which was Progressive.
So just explain to me a little bit how you connected with the gay audience, because in my mind, insurance is not an emotional decision.
Back in the day, if you think about just the history of buying auto insurance, you have to go talk to someone. And before, before people were a little bit more open about it, if you were still back in the closet, you had to go to an agent, talk to them, and give them your personal information. And you were going to be judged by this person, and you may or may not get the insurance. I mean, people were a little bit guarded back in the day.
When we looked at this particular initiative, it wasn't so much about like, is there a product out there or an insurance coverage that fits the GLBT community. It was a little bit more around the whole idea of Progressive is a company that thinks progressively about insurance. This is a community that thinks progressively about itself. And so there's sort of a synergy in terms of the mentality of the company and the mentality of the community that we thought was a nice sort of place to play in creatively.
So we started looking for gay vintage photographs. And we originally did a traditional search using stock houses, and the search came up 0. So we knew we had a challenge on our hand. But with Trevor, myself, and the team, and with our client kind of committed to this campaign, that's when we kind of started to dig in, and we started looking at it was kind of an unconventional campaign, and that's where we had to go to find the photographs. So we started looking at Google, we started looking at Flickr, we started looking at private collectors. We reached out to our own GLBT community. We actually even created flyers, and we had one guy that was working with who went out to San Francisco and posted them out there.
Just to add to that, I mean, I think it was really important for Progressive that these images had appeared, somewhere, before, whether they be at a gallery showing or in a book, of GLBT photography or whatever, because it was very important for Progressive to not just find an image, from the 1800s, which all the images were, and say, oh, this looks like it might be a gay photograph, or these two women might be lesbian, so we'll just make that assumption. They were very specific about not wanting to do that, so that they weren't the ones that were like placing a label on anybody else. But the fact is that all of these photographs had appeared in either some sort of book or gallery showing, or we were able to get someone that held them in their possession to say, yes, I believe that is the case, so that Progressive wasn't the one to sort of make that determination.
Talk to me a little bit about the art direction, because the ads were truly stunning.
Well, I was telling you just a little bit how difficult they were to find, but then once we actually ended up at at the Glad Day bookstore, and there were some books that were published that had people that were collecting these images. And so we went in the resource in the back, and we found out that the Institute Center of Photography in New York had their own collection. So we reached out to them, went to New York to see the collection, and downstairs in the lobby they were actually having a show on tintypes and daguerreotypes, and it was this great, like American slice of American history. It showed workers and African Americans and just families and couples. And so I was able to go upstairs in the back room and see, like Mapplethorpe's and Dwayne Michaels' photography, and they, made me put on the little white gloves, and they brought out the box with the collection of their same-sex photographs. And I opened them up, and I couldn't believe it, because here they were, these these beautiful photographs of these people, and I was holding them, and there was just this couple that was looking back at me, and I was thinking about the show that was downstairs, and it was the history of tintype and daguerreotype photography, and these guys were excluded from the image. The same-sex couples were not in the show at the Institute, of the Center of Photography in New York, and I thought, what an oversight it is. So this was our opportunity to give these guys their own personal show, get them out of the closet, and they would be seen in our campaign. So it was that was like a huge reward for me.
It's very interesting when you look at the photographs, each one of the photographs, the word pride, it just jumps out at you. The way they're posed, the way they're looking right at the camera. Did that inspire then what you did in the social media piece of the campaign?
The folks who work at the brand promotions group at Arnold, really sort of took their cues from the campaign that Mary had developed and said, this is really about the idea, like these people, in these photographs, were sort of bold and brave enough to sort of stand up and actually have their love sort of documented. And so there's something really special about that. And what if we could do sort of the modern day application of that? So what we did was we developed this event program where people could actually have their photos taken, and we through a Facebook Connect software, we actually had those photos uploaded onto Facebook, where we built a community, and we went to 7 markets, the first year, all around the country, primarily in the summer, because that's when the Pride events typically tend to happen, it was wildly successful, more successful than we ever anticipated, because a lot of people, by virtue of tagging their photos, you get alerts, when your friends tag your photos, so other people would then join who might not have even been able to attend the event.
And where is the media running?
Targeted media we mostly in print, so like in Advocate and Out magazine, Curve magazine, and
then there's online banner ads as well that are also very targeted.
Right. And then the events.
And then the events.
Yeah.
So tell us what's going on right now with the campaign.
This particular campaign that won at Rossoff has evolved into a new campaign that's running right now, and what we're calling it Works in Progress. And instead of it featuring vintage photography, it's actually works of art. In many cases, most cases, paintings. Where the idea, again, progress is something that you measure through time, and so looking back at sort of the vintage photographs, or even looking looking at a painting from 400 years ago, or in some cases, a piece of stone etching that's 2,000 years ago, really with the idea in mind that, this has been a non-issue for a long time, and we're making it more of a big deal now than it frankly has ever really been. And so that's kind of the expression of that campaign that's running now. We've evolved the event experience as well, this year, and so I assume we'll be entering that work in Hatch this year.
And what about the Facebook page, that great Faces of Pride? Does that campaign and the Facebook community continue to grow?
Yeah, it is right now at, which we're really, really proud of. It's over 18,000 fans on that page, which this is me being the competitive account person, getting a little psyched about, is the fact that there are some insurance brands as a whole that don't have that many fans for the entire brand, and we have that more than that for just this one initiative, which is fabulous.
So this campaign that you're running is obviously very different from the main campaign for Progressive with Flo. Talk to us a little bit about Flo. She has become such an icon, And we haven't seen that in the campaign in a long time. So talk to us about her fan base and her following.
Thank you. That's really nice of you to say. And we continue to be delighted, by the results of the Superstore campaign and Flow. And it's just she's just been a runaway hit, and it's one of the things that's been terrific about that platform is there's a lot of elasticity in terms of where we can go, with that creatively, which is great. But we're really lucky to have her, as an actress. Stephanie Courtney, who plays Flo, is very gifted, and she's such a partner. She comes to the set so professional every day, and a lot of times, in the working of the script, she might come up with an idea that takes things a little bit forward, and that's what ends up on screen.
Well, thank you both for joining us on the Big Orange Couch, and hope to see you at Hatch 50th, and we'll watch for the work.
Looking
Terrific.
forward to it.
Thank you so much, Kathy.
Thank you both. And thank you for joining us again on the Big Orange Couch.